a self-quadratic equation. In mathematics, there are three methods of solving quadratic equation. Number one is completing the square method. Complete the square method. Number two, factorization. And number three is a graphical method. Today, we are going to be dealing with completing the square method. It's very interesting, completing the square method. The reason why I choose this topic is because àwọn èèyàn máa find it so difficult láti solve completing the square method yẹn. And nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ ni pé lẹ́yìn tí n bá fún yín láwọn steps kọ̀ọ̀kan ẹ máa lè ní orí ọ̀fẹ́ láti solve. And these steps will be helpful for you tẹ́ bá ti fẹ́ máa solve any question based on completing the square. Kí là ń pè ní quadratic equation? Quadratic equation is an equation that comes in this form ax squared plus bx plus c equals to 0. All quadratic equations will always be equal to 0. Look at this. A, b and c, they are just numbers. They are just coefficient of x squared. And this a is a coefficient of x squared. B is a coefficient of x. And c that doesn't have known as a constant term. Both a, b and c could be any number, either positive or negative. And quadratic equation, the highest power is always 2. That is sometimes we can say that quadratic equation is an equation of second degree. Now, today, if I want to solve this kind of equation, there are some steps that I need to follow. The first is this. Step 1. Divide through by coefficient of x squared. Now, the equation by coefficient x squared is a. So we pay a la ma fi divide gbogbo nǹkan tó wà níbí báyìí. Now, there is also another condition. The coefficient of x squared is 1. Move to step 2. So tó bá kù pé 1 ni coefficient x squared níbí báyìí, a máa lọ sí step 2. But nígbà tó jẹ́ pé a ni coefficient x squared níbí báyìí, we have to do what they tell us to do. That means they said we should agree, and we divide through by a. That is x squared divided by a plus bx divided by a plus c divided by a equals to 0. But if a divided 0 to 0 not the math form, we should bother. Look at this, we are going to have x squared plus b over a x plus c over a equals to 0. Now we have fulfilled the step 1 of the equation. The step 2 says move the constant term to the right hand side of the equation. Now, what do we do there? Because of the constant term transformed by a máa move it lọ sí right hand side of the equation. Nǹkan tó máa happen ni pé as ax equals to minus c over a. Torí plus lélẹ̀ jẹ́ tá bá move it sí the other side ló máa di minus. Now the step 3. Step 3 says that go to one side of your notes. Step 3 says that go to one side of your notes, divide the coefficient of x by 2, and based on what we have, divide the coefficient of x by 2, go to side of your notes, go to one side of your notes, divide the coefficient of x x, the coefficient x by 2 and square the result. That is, nǹkan tá a máa ṣe ń sìn ni pé a máa mú coefficient x a máa gbé lọ a máa lọ ṣiṣẹ́ kan ní ẹ̀gbẹ́ ìwé wa àti ìfisí working yẹn, and based on the last step the coefficient of x is b over a, we divide it by 2, and how do we do that? That will be b over a times 1 over 2, and that will now be b over 2a. Then wọ́n á ní pé ká square result ẹ̀, nǹkan tá a obtain nílé a máa square, and the answer that we are going to have there is b squared over 4a squared. Now, nígbà tá a ti ṣe lé báyìí, then we now go to the next step, which is step 4. Step 4 says that add the results obtained in step 3 to both sides of the equation. Add the results obtained in step 3 to both sides of the equation. Tó túmọ̀ sí ni pé s squared plus b over a x plus b squared over 4a squared equals to minus c over a plus b squared over 4a squared. Now, step out with that, at the hard result that gets the idea at the hardest delivery. Now, nǹkan tó wá kù ni pé a máa wá wo bá ṣe máa play around with the figures. Nǹkan tó kù tá a máa ṣe ni pé a sọ okay, s squared plus b over a x plus b squared over 4a squared equals to, we find the common denominator. The LCM here is a 4a squared. So 4a divided by a, that will be 4a. 4a squared divided by a, that will be 4a. 4a times c will now be minus 4ac plus b squared. Because that will be 4a squared divided by 4a squared to give us 1. 1 times b squared will give us b squared. So, kò sí wàhálà lórí ilé báyìí. Tá a kàn máa ṣe ni pé ilé òkè máa ń láìkí minus bẹ̀rẹ̀ iṣẹ́. Màá fẹ́ interchange wọn. Ní tí màá bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe lélẹ̀ màá ní s squared plus ba x plus square over 4a squared equals to b squared minus 4ac over 4a squared. Now, tẹ́ bá wo equation yìí dáadáa, equation yìí is more or less like a perfect square. Tá bá factorize it, a lè factorize equation yìí. So the next step now will be step 5, and that's it. Factorize the left hand side of the equation. Ó ní bẹ́ẹ̀ mi ṣe máa ń ṣe torí mi kì í máa like máa fúnra mi wà láàrin factorization equation. Ṣé mọ̀ pé nígbà tí mo sọ pé ká lọ sí corner kan nínú nóòtì wa, mo ní ká divide the equation coefficient x by 2. Nǹkan tí mo obtain nígbà yẹn was b over 2a. Now, òun ló máa wú ní bíbá yìí. Tí màá kàn ṣe tí bá fẹ́ factorize ni pé dóòkù wa mathematically acceptable, ṣùgbọ́n láti lè save stress tá bá lò ó máa work fún wa. Nǹkan tí mo kàn máa ṣe ni pé màá sọ pé x, màá mú x, màá kọ́kọ́ x out of this x square. The next sign that follows this place, tó bá yẹ pé minus ni màá kọ minus, tó bá yẹ pé plus ni màá kọ plus, but torí pé plus ló tẹ̀lé bíbá yìí màá kọ plus. Mo obtain kó tó di pé mo square result nígbà tí mo ṣe step 3, màá kọ pé b over 2 màá wá square. Ẹ̀dùn wò nígbà tó bá ń ṣe, ẹ̀rí pé báyìí táyà tẹ́ bá square ó máa fún wa ní equation tí the equation equation ilé tí mo náà sí ó máa fún wa. Tá bá square ó máa fún wa lélẹ̀. So the only shortcut tí mo lè fi síbẹ̀ lélẹ̀ tí máa factorize nǹkan tó máa fún mi lélẹ̀ is going to give me like this, and that will be b square minus 4ac over 2a squared. Now tó bá ti wá rí báyìí, the next step a máa follow, which is step 6, will now be step 6 will be square both sides of the equation. Square both sides of the equation. Now, báwo la ṣe máa square both sides of the equation? Ìgbà tá a ti mọ̀ pé x plus b over 2a square. Oh, square root both sides of the equation. Sorry, square root both sides of the equation. That means I'm going to root this one, and I'm going to now the equation that I'm getting here, which is b square minus 4ac over 4a squared. Now, tí bá square root both sides of the equation, square root yìí máa cancel square tó wà níbí, á wá fún mi x plus b over 2a lásán. And this one, tẹ́ bá wò, numerator yìí ò kì í ṣe perfect square, but tẹ́ bá kíyèsí denominator yìí dáadáa, denominator yìí is a perfect square. And what is the square root of 4? Is 2. The square root of a squared is 2a. And that means we are going to obtain plus or minus, then we now have b squared minus 4ac or root, because this is not a perfect square. Now the last step, or let me just say second to the last step will now be solve for x. That is, x is equal to minus b over 2 plus or minus b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Níwọ̀n ìgbà tó jẹ́ pé àwọn méjì ti jọ share the same denominator, o lè wá sọ pé x is equal to b plus or minus b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Eléyìí gangan òun náà máa ń lò, wọ́n máa ń pè ní almighty formula. Ìdẹ́ ló wà binding sí gbogbo equation tó jẹ́ pé wọ́n lè fi solve quadratically. Tá a bá lo coefficient yìí, ta take b as the coefficient of x, ta take a as the coefficient of x squared, ta dẹ̀ take c as our constant term. Kò sí any quadratic equation tó wà láyé tá a lè solve. Now, ẹ jẹ́ ká wo example kan tí a máa fi kíní lè apply sí. Now, mi ò ní explain, mo máa fast pẹ̀lú example yẹn. Explain gbogbo bá a ṣe ń solve into details. Mo máa fast pẹ̀lú example yẹn. Ẹ ká gbé example kan yẹ̀ wò ní equation yìí. Example tá a máa gbé yẹ̀ wò ò ní eléyìí. Solve 5x squared minus 4x minus 9 equals to 0. Now the coefficient of x squared here is 5. Now I'm going to divide everything to 1b by 5, and that will give us x squared minus 4 over 5x minus 9 over 5 equals to 0. Then the next thing, when we can move constant term to left hand equation, we have x squared minus 4 over 5x equals to 9 over 5. To reach minus the the other side, be now the next thing is we can coefficient x can try that divided by 2, that is minus 4 over 5 divided by 2, meaning that I can say minus 4 over 5 times 1 over 2 will be minus 4 over 10. About cut is around minus 2 over 5. In your bed, I'm going to square result in that will be what? 4 over 25. Maybe 4 over 25 in one result I obtain card is both sides of the equation. I'm going to add the result is both sides of the equation by saying x squared minus 4 over 5x plus 4 over 25 equals to 9 over 5 plus 4 over 25. Now, bó ṣe wà báyìí sí mo lè sáré parí ọ̀rọ̀ bí kí n sọ pé x squared minus 5x plus 4 over 25 is equal to 25. 25 in 5 times 9 45. 25 divided by 45, 1. 1 times 4, 4. Mo lè parí ọ̀rọ̀ kí n sọ pé x square minus 4 over 5x plus 4 over 25 equals to 49 over 25. Now, ọ̀rọ̀ wa ti ń yanjú díẹ̀. Nǹkan tó kù báyìí ni pé kí n factorize the left hand side equation. And based on nǹkan tí mo ti kọ́ yín tẹ́lẹ̀, mo ti kọ́ yín pé a máa kàn lo cheat yìí, a sọ pé x minus 2 over 5 to 1 divided torí minus 2 over 5, our square will now be equals to 49 over 25. Taba square root both sides. We square root both sides. That means we are going to have x minus 2 over 5 equals to 49 over 25. To mean pé taba sọ pé x minus 2 over 5 equals to square root of 49 will be 7 and the square root of 25 plus or minus. Then ó mean pé taba máa solve báyìí a kàn lè sáré parí solution wa ká sọ pé x is equal to minus ìdílé nígbà tó bá máa lọ sí bí a lè plus a jẹ́ 2 plus or minus 7 over 5. Now answer méjì ní quadratic equation máa ń ní, so we now say that x is equal to 2 over 5 plus 7 over 5 or 2 over 5 minus 7 over 5. Tẹ́bá wo ilé máa jẹ́ 9 over 5 or minus 5 over 5, which could be either 9 over 5 or minus 1. The answer ilé ṣe máa jẹ́ nìyí. Tẹ́bá try pẹ̀lú any equation, ẹ máa rí pé tẹ́bá follow step tí mo sọ earlier, you are going to get it right. I hope you have find this video so yes, do these three things for us. Number 1, subscribe to our channel, like our video and share it to your friends. Thank you so much and God bless you.